Yo, what does that even mean?
What? Oh, gook? No, it just means, in Korean, it just means country.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so like, Hanguk is Korea, Yeongguk is England.
What about America?
That's my favorite one. Migook.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of RT Essentials. I'm Nikki Novak. Today we are taking a second look with part 2 of our greatest Asian American milestones list. And these aren't just any old movies, we're talking certified fresh, film festival darling, and Oscar contending flicks that have helped shape the Asian American cinematic landscape over the past couple decades. So join me, won't you? Because here we go. Always Be My Maybe.
Oh, sorry, I should have told you rich people are done with fancy clothes. Now it's all $1,000 t-shirts that look like they were stolen off the homeless.
And kicking things off as the first film on the list is 2019's Always Be My Maybe. This Netflix film stars Randall Park and Ali Wong, who also co-wrote it with Michael Galamko. The pair play childhood friends Sasha and Marcus, who have a falling out and don't speak for 15 years. They finally cross paths again when Sasha, now a celebrity chef in Los Angeles, returns to her hometown of San Francisco to open a new restaurant. She eventually runs into Marcus, a happily complacent musician still living at home and working for his dad. And with the pair now living in totally different worlds, it makes it even more difficult to reconnect. This film was directed by Nahnatchka Khan, who previously created the ABC comedy Fresh Off the Boat, a series Ali Wong also co-wrote on for 3 seasons. And speaking of Wong, she now has multiple highly successful Netflix comedy specials. I'm talking 100% on the tomato meter under her belt. Plus, she was included in Time Magazine's list of the 100 most influential people of 2020. I mean, she's doing well. She first met Randall Park in the late 1990s through a mutual friend, and they remained in touch. She said they worked for years to develop this movie, describing it as our version of When Harry Met Sally. I'll have what both of them are having. Meanwhile, Park, whose star began to shine when he was a prank replacement of Jim Halpert in an episode of The Office, has now appeared in both the MCU as Agent Jimmy Woo and the DCEU as Dr. Stephen Shin. It is not the 100 most influential list, but this is incredibly superhero adjacently impressive.
I'm gonna die all alone in a big house all by myself in complete, utter, and deafening silence. I can feel it, Marcus.
There.
There? That's all you got?
Well, I had more at the beginning of your speech, and then I forgot it by the end. Sorry, just so long.
Plus, Park gets to show off his rap persona in this film, which is based on his earlier music career as a member of the 1990s Bay Area hip-hop group called Ill Again. I'm not gonna rap for you. You're welcome. I might, actually. He also co-wrote several rap songs for this film, along with hip-hop producer Dan the Automator. A certified fresh rating says that critics loved this one, with a consensus that Always Be My Maybe is carried by the infectious charms of Ali Wong and Randall Park, and takes familiar rom-com beats and cleverly layers in smart social commentary to find its own sweet groove. Searching.
Kim, my name is Rosemary Vick. I'm the detective sergeant assigned to your daughter's case.
Yeah, good morning. I've been waiting for your call.
Of course, we're working as fast as we can. I'm currently 35 minutes away from your house, but while I have you, do you feel comfortable telling me what you know?
Next up on this list of Asian American milestones is the 2018 mystery thriller Searching, directed by Anish Shiganti. In his feature film debut, this film is set entirely on computer screens and smartphones. It follows a father, played by John Cho, who's trying to track down his missing 16-year-old daughter after she disappears, and the ensuing police investigation turns up nothing. He gets some help from a police detective, played by Deborah Messing, and starts digging into the one place the police ignored, her laptop. I would think that would be the first place they would look. And he begins to trace her digital footprints and look for clues as to where she might be. See, Facebook isn't just for complaining about stuff, guys, and posting your food. The movie is considered to be the first mainstream Hollywood thriller to be headlined by an Asian American actor in John Cho, who actually turned down the role initially because he didn't think the concept would work as a film. But alas, he was convinced, and thank goodness for that, because he ended up earning a nomination for Best Lead Male at the Independent Spirit Awards for his performance. Searching was originally conceived as an 8-minute short film, but after coming up with the movie's intro, filmmakers felt like they had enough to go with to make it a full-length feature. And to make it happen, Searching was shot on various devices, including a GoPro, a drone, news helicopters, webcam, and even director Anish Chaganty's iPhone, which became the main camera. To that I say, kids, do try this at home.
It's my fault for getting you involved in the first place. I did it because we had already lost so much time.
You're cutting me off?
Every professional who should be working on this case is working on this case.
All I'm trying to do is to help you find my daughter.
And while filming took just 13 days, the movie spent nearly 2 years in the edit bays, building every single website and social media platform you see in the film from scratch with animation and graphics. But it seemed to be worth it, as the film pulled in over $75 million with a budget below $900K. This is the kind of money I want. Plus, with a certified fresh rating, the critics loved Searching, and especially its star, John Cho, with film critic Wen Li Ma writing that after 20 years in the industry, he is finally bagging the kind of starring roles he deserves. And the overall consensus from critics is that Searching's timely premise and original execution are further bolstered by well-rounded characters brought to life by a very talented cast. The Namesake.
So, should we make our mothers happy and see each other again?
Maybe. Give me a call.
Now we'll take it all the way back to 2006, which kind of sounds like a rap song, which doesn't seem like all that long ago till we tell you that Lupita Nyong'o worked as an intern on this film, and I'm talking about the film The Namesake. This drama was directed by Meera Nair and features Kal Penn alongside Bollywood stars the late Irfan Khan and Taboo, and follows a family of first-generation immigrants after moving from the East Indian state of West Bengal to New York. Penn's character, who goes by Gogol, was a baby when the family moved and grew up like a typical American teenager, but is constantly working to forge his own identity while not forgetting his heritage, and things intensify for him as he takes his first trip to India in his 20s. Penn came highly recommended for the role both from his former co-star John Cho and also from Meera Nair's son, who is also a fan of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, as one should be, and the entire world is as well. The Namesake is based on the 2003 novel of the same name by Jhumpa Lahiri, who actually hosted Meera Nair when portions were filmed in India. And much of Lahiri's extended family ended up appearing in party and funeral scenes. And by the way, that trip to India marked the first time that Taboo, a longtime Bollywood star, had ever seen the Taj Mahal. Talk about a conversation starter.
Do I remind you of that night?
Not at all. You remind me of everything that followed. Every day since then has been a gift.
This certified fresh film and its refreshingly real story was very well received by fans and critics. Like critic Roxana Haddadi from Pajiba, who said, "The Namesake captures the interior struggle between centuries of history and the appeal of living only in the now, and it's grippingly beautiful and overwhelmingly moving." And the overall consensus from critics is that this film is an ambitious exploration of the immigrant experience with a talented cast that serves the material well. To all the boys I've loved before.
It's weird and somewhat off-putting to be congratulated on doing nothing more than accepting a note and having an ass pocket for someone to stick their hand into. But I guess that's where my life has taken me.
And now to all the lovely viewers who are watching right now, I bring you 2018's To All the Boys I've Loved Before. The Netflix film, directed by Susan Johnson and written by Sofia Alvarez, is an adaptation of Jenny Han's 2014 best-selling novel of the same name. It stars Alana Condor as a teenage girl who writes letters to all of her past loves. Letters that are meant for her eyes only. But when they get sent out to the people they're written about, her life is turned upside down as they begin to confront her one by one. This would be my real-life personal horror movie, not a rom-com. This marked a breakout performance for Condor, who made her acting debut as Jubilee in the film X-Men Apocalypse a couple years prior, and then went on to play Koyomi in Alita Battle Angel the year after this movie released. She was paired with co-star Noah Centineo for this one, and together the pair won the 2019 MTV Movie and TV Award for Best Kiss, a trophy cabinet stable for all young actors out there. Plus, they were up for the Teen Choice Award for Choice Movie Ship, but lost out to that darn Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse for Riverdale.
Wait, this isn't about Jen and me at all. No, this is about you and Josh. Are you kidding me? This is the reason that you broke up with me. You still in love with this Bon Iver wannabe?
If Laura Jean broke up with you, it's probably because she's coming to the life-altering revelation that she's too good for you.
You're in love with Josh?
The film, which was co-produced by Will Smith and James Lasseter's Overbrook Entertainment, was followed by 2 certified fresh sequels, To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You, and To All the Boys, Always and Forever, with Condor and Centineo returning for both. That's a lot of love. But when it comes to the first and highest scoring film in the franchise, the consensus from critics is that To All the Boys I've Loved Before plays by the team rom-com rules, but the relatable characters and a thoroughly charming cast more than make up for a lack of surprises. Who needs surprises in love? Be a predictable man, please. Meet the Patels.
When you talk to her, she may not know why you are talking to her. Don't be shy, you know. Talk to her, man.
We'll support you, Beta.
Don't
worry, we'll support you.
I'm telling you, you guys are treating me like I'm like so. I'm very good socially.
Next up is the romantic comedy documentary 2019's Meet the Patels. This film was directed by siblings Geeta V. Patel and Ravi V. Patel and explores the expectations surrounding marriage in their first-generation Indian immigrant family. Geeta, who's a filmmaker, follows her brother Ravi, an actor, as he goes on a quest to find a wife and make his family happy as he approaches 30. After breaking up with an American woman, Audrey, that he was secretly dating without his parents' knowledge, Ravi goes on a trip to India and enlists his family's help to find a wife in the traditional Indian way. But things prove difficult because Audrey, his first love, becomes his frame of reference for finding a new partner. The film alternates between live-action cinematography and animation sequences of Ravi breaking down events in his dating and family life during interviews with Geeta, and the result was a film that became an absolute film festival darling. It won, get this, the Audience Choice Award at the 2014 Los Angeles Film Festival, named a top 10 audience favorite at the Hot Docs Canadian International Film Festival, earned the Audience Award at the Mosaic International South Asian Film Festival, plus it was named Best Documentary Film and won the Founders Grand Prize for Best Film at the Traverse City Film Festival, among other accolades. Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot to say. It's a lot of awards, if I can't even say it all.
Love this picture. This is the closest an Indian picture ever gets to kissing.
This should be considered obscene by some people.
The critics loved it too, like Candace Frederick from Real Talk Online, who said it's an authentic look at the sociology of dating that we just don't talk about enough, especially among marginalized cultures. While the consensus from critics in general is that Meet the Patels works on multiple levels, offering an affable, entertaining documentary about one man looking for love while posing thoughtful questions about cultural assimilation and modern romance. Yellow Rose.
This whole time, you were right here. When Dad died, you know, Ma and I could have really used your help.
I know.
Blooming into the next spot on this list is 2019's musical drama Yellow Rose. With Filipino-American film director Diane Paragas at the helm, this film follows Rose, played by Eva Noblezada, a Filipina illegal immigrant teenager who has dreams of leaving her small town in Texas to become a country music singer. But when her mother, played by Princess Panzalan, is detained by immigration, Rose is forced to flee the scene, and she embarks on a journey of self-discovery while searching for a new home in the honky-tonk world of Austin, Texas. The film, which Diane Paragas had been working on since 2004, also stars Lea Salonga and Dale Watson, and premiered at the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival in May of 2019. It went on to win 13 film festival awards, mostly in recognition of Paragas' directing and the performances by Noblezada and Salonga. Also receiving a lot of love was the soundtrack for this musical film, which features singing from Paragas as well as Noblezada, Salonga, and Dale Watson.
The ones on the left, they're a little cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, I like your notebook.
Oh, thanks. Towns is like my spirit god.
It's like dead flowers. Yeah.
And after delay thanks to COVID-19, the film eventually hit theaters in October of 2020, becoming one of the first Filipino-American films to be released by a major Hollywood studio for theatrical release. And with a certified fresh score on the Tomatometer, the response from critics was positive, like the AP's Jake Coyle, who said that this movie sings an affecting, sorrowful, and defiant song where dreams collide with a cruel reality. And the overall consensus from critics called Yellow Rose a coming-of-age story with a timely twist, offering a fresh and sweetly rewarding perspective on the immigrant experience. Saving Face.
爱的是他，
这是天大的我，不是我，真不是我，
就是你，
不，那绝不是我，
喂，
是我。
We've been saving the next spot on our list of Asian American milestones for this film, 2004's Saving Face. This romantic dramedy marked the first Hollywood movie centered around Chinese Americans since The Joy Luck Club from over a decade earlier in 1993, and it was written and directed by Alice Wu in her feature-length debut. The film focuses on Wilhelmina, or Will, played by Michelle Krusiek, a young Chinese-American surgeon who is gay but not out to her widowed mother or her very traditional grandparents. But the tables are turned when Will finds out that her 48-year-old mother is actually pregnant and also moving in. This puts a little bit of a strain on Will's relationship with the openly gay Vivian, played by Lin Chen. Alice Wu originally began writing this story as a novel, inspired by her own experience coming out as gay to her middle-aged mother. It eventually turned into a script and had interest around Hollywood, but Wu said some studios wanted it to more closely resemble films like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, or at least make some characters white so they could add a big star like Scarlett Johansson. But Wu didn't budge, and also made sure that the Mandarin dialogue, lesbian romance, and her involvement both as writer and director were non-negotiable.
小薇有一个单身的黑人朋友，整天在这里晃来晃去的，你有没有兴趣啊
？No，
你不喜欢黑人啊？
我喜欢黑人。
他不喜欢黑人。
那他喜欢黑人。
那他为什么不跟 J date 啊？
至于吧。
The script eventually caught the attention of Will Smith and James Lasseter's Overbrook Entertainment, who produced the project, and with a minimal budget, the film borrowed a helicopter that was being used for Smith's movie Hitch, so they could shoot landscape shots of New York. And the certified fresh Saving Face went on to be a hit with both fans and critics, with a consensus from the latter saying that it's a charming tale of a love affair that overcomes cultural taboos. Columbus.
Truth is, if I were in Korea, I'd be expected to be there when he died, and to express sorrow in the most dramatic fashion. There's this belief that if you're not there when a family member dies, you're not adequately grieving.
Sailing its way onto our list next is the 2017 drama Columbus, which actually has nothing to do with boats or sailing. I'm sorry for sailing aficionados out there. The film follows Jin, played by John Cho, who finds himself stranded in Columbus, Indiana, when his father, an architecture scholar, becomes ill during a speaking tour. While he's there, Jin starts up a friendship with Casey, played by Haley Lou Richardson, a local librarian and architecture enthusiast. Together, they explore both the small town and their emotions, becoming ever more conflicted as they grow closer. Columbus was written, directed, and edited by Kogonada in his feature film directorial debut. After years of making mostly documentary shorts, the filmmaker has since gone on to write and direct the Colin Farrell film After Yang and direct the Apple TV Plus series Pachinko. And it was actually Kogonada's wife who spotted Haley Lou Richardson on Law & Order and thought she would be good for this movie, which also features Michelle Forbes, Rory Culkin, and Parker Posey in supporting roles. See, actors always take that co-star on Law & Order. You never know.
Thank you.
being here.
I hope my mom's gonna be okay.
She's gonna be all right.
But one of the biggest stars of this film was actually the location, Columbus, Indiana, known for its unique modern architecture. Kogonada once stopped through on vacation and knew he wanted to come back and make a movie there, which he did, filming for 18 days in August of 2016. The certified fresh flick premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January of 2017 and went on to become one of the best films of the year, according to several critics, including Kevin Mayer from Times UK, who called it brainy and sensual, cool and emotional, wildly impressive, a coming-of-age drama that consistently defies expectation. And the overall consensus from critics says that Columbus is wonderfully acted and artfully composed and balances the clean lines of architecture against the messiness of love with tenderly moving results. Driveways.
This shelf is for our manga collection. A weird guy used to live in our house before us, and he left boxes and boxes of them in the garage.
They're really cool. They're not really kid comics. Do you have cancer?
You can't ask people that.
That's the mess Grandpa had.
Pulling in nice and slow to the next spot on our list is the 2019 drama Driveways. This marks just the second feature for director Andrew Ahn after 2016's fresh film Spa Night. This one revolves around a lonely young boy, played by Lucas J., who tags along with his mother when she goes to clean out the house of his late aunt. There he forms an unlikely friendship with a retiree who lives next door, played by the late Brian Dennehy. The veteran actor died a month before this film's release, and critics considered it an excellent final performance. On the other hand, this marked the first film role for Lucas J., who previously had a recurring role on Fuller House. And Hong Chow, who plays Lucas J.'s mom and is known for series like Big Little Lies and Watchmen, emailed Andrew Ahn after seeing Spa Night and said she would do anything he wanted in his next film. Driveways came from an original screenplay by playwrights Hannah Boss and Paul Thurene. The story is pulled from their own childhoods in the Midwest, and more specifically when Boss would work in her mother's antique shop and often had to go to people's homes after they passed.
Can you come?
Sure.
It'll be me, Mom, and you. There's gonna be pizza. There's also gonna be roller skating, but you don't have to do it. You could just sit, and I'll probably just sit.
Don't you want to invite any young people too?
The film had its world premiere at the Berlin Film Festival in February of 2020 and its American premiere in Tribeca in April, but it was ultimately released via video on demand instead of getting a theatrical release due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But with an impressive, catch this guys, 99% on the tomato meter, this movie still managed to make an impression on critics. Like David Fear from Rolling Stone, who said, "For a movie about isolation and the risk of reaching out, it's a generous example of how nourishing a sense of connection really is." And the consensus from critics in general says, understated yet powerful, Driveways is a character study anchored in fundamental decency and a poignant farewell to Brian Dennehy. Gook!
You remember her?
Of course. Keep it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's yours. What am I supposed to do with it?
And finally, the last film on this list of Asian American milestones is the 2017 drama Gook. This film was written and directed by Justin Chon, a longtime actor who also stars in what is just his second feature-length film as a director after the 2015 comedy Man Up. This one tells the story of two Korean-American brothers who now own and operate their father's struggling shoe store and the surprising friendship that they have formed with an 11-year-old black girl. The film takes place during the first day of the 1992 Los Angeles riots, where the brothers contemplate trying to defend and save the store and what it means to their own personal dreams and the future of the family if they don't. Justin Chon, who was 11 years old at the time of the LA riots, has cited movies like Do the Right Thing and Boys in the Hood as major influences on this story. He wrote the role of his father in the film, Mr. Kim, specifically for his own father, retired actor Sang Chong. It took his dad 3 months to finally say yes to his son, given the nature of the film and how close it hits to home.
We got anything to eat?
Nah, they cleaned us out.
Got any lunch money?
What, I look like an ATM? What you need lunch money for? I know you've been ditching.
And Justin wrote the part of Daniel just for David So, leaning into his talents as a comedian and singer along with acting. It all came together when the film premiered at the 2017 Sundance Film Festival in January of 2017, where it picked up the Best of Next Audience Award. And critics loved this certified fresh film as well, like Naomi Wong from Little White Lies, who called it a progressive, refreshing take on the unseen stories of the LA riots. While the overall consensus from critics says, from its confrontational title to its striking cinematography, this raw cinematic gem uncompromisingly proves writer-director-actor Justin Chon is a filmmaker to watch. I hope you enjoyed our list of Asian American Milestones Part 2, and if you haven't caught Part 1, make sure to do so. You're sure to see it pop up on the channel. And while I'm not here to assign homework, I will say that your next assignment is to go watch these. They're all amazing. Thank you for tuning into RT Essentials. I'm Nikki Novak. Bye!